Guess what it is? It's another day in the shed.
Welcome back to another episode of Berto's ultimate GQ ute build from the ground up. He's bought the cheapest, shittiest Patrol he could find and he's going to throw everything at it so it's ready to tour Australia and tackle the toughest tracks this country has to offer. In this episode, Berto is continuing the trade build and getting the ute ready for paint. Proudly supported by Opus, Ultimate 9, Superior Engineering, GME, Tie Gear, and in part by...
It's another day in the shed. I need to infill all the tube guards and that so they don't flick mud everywhere and just so they look done and proper. I think I'm just going to get craft paper, tape it together, trace it around, cut it out, and then I'll be able to trace it out onto the mould steel sheet that I've got here. I'm not sure what the best way to do this is. I think I want the sheets on the outside so they give it more of a finished look from the outside rather than in here. I think the only downside to this is that mud will get caught on the inside between the sheet and that, which means I'll just have to wash it better. But I held it up, traced around the inside, but it tucked in so it's about the middle of the pipe. I've got a little notch for this one. Now, you hold him up, it fills that sheet there pretty good. I'm gonna make one for here, one for the front, and then the top's gonna be sheeted, so I don't need to do up in the middle, because I'm gonna lose some clearance if I do that. I don't really have a good way to cut this. I could probably just measure this and then get someone to cut it out for me with a laser, but I don't have one, I don't have a plasma, so I'm gonna have to grind this down, and then I'll flappy the edges to make it fit perfect and get it stitched on. I need to get this metal to wrap around this so it looks all nice and slick. I think that way to do it, I don't think you can pre-bend it, not with what I have here. I'm potentially going to tack the bottom and the side, and then I'm going to pull it down, get it sitting nice and flush on the pipe, tack, get it further flush, tack, and go the whole way along. I think that's the best way I'm going to be able to figure out how to do it. I just need to clearance the inside a smidge. I didn't like how wide I had it and how high it sat on this. I wanted it recessed down. I have trimmed this so it goes down in the hole, which it looks better instead of it being flat. It's more still like the angry, curved sort of shape. So, what the hell? Helmet's falling to bits. I need to fix that. Take a look at the repair job on that. Zip ties. It's gonna get me out of trouble. As you can see, sheeted, the little gap sheeted. I've just stitch welded it. I'll put silicone in there, block all that off. I'm gonna do the front section now. The driver's side was actually pretty much the exact same shape as the passenger. You know, apparently it's symmetrical, so props to me for that. Let's get it in here. So now, I've got all three of them on there. I just have to, you know, weld them out. I'm pretty much just stack and tack so that it doesn't get too hot, warp the whole thing, and I don't want dirt to come flicking out through the holes. So I'm just gonna weld all these down along here, and then from the inside, I'll seam seal it right on the edge. Next up, a couple of infills for the tail lights. I'm just gonna cut the whole thing out, and then I'm gonna make some sort of way to mount the tail light, and then I'm also gonna cut out a hole for the tail light. Got two of them cut out. Now to give them a bit of a clean up around the edges. Another day in the shed. I've made the plate itself to shape. Now I need to cut out the shape of the tail light, get it tacked on, and then I'll make some brackets to hold the lights in the position. Now that it's all cut out, I've chamfered the edges. I've got it clamped into position. I'm gonna put just a couple of tack welds to hold it into position, and then I'm gonna continue to make the other side, and then I'll make the brackets for the lights. All right, next step, now that I've got those mounted, is to make mounts for the tail light. I've got one made, just a roughie. I might brace it up a little bit, but all it is a bit of the 2mm sheet that I've cut into strips, and then I've got the vise and I've bent it. So I've made one, it's just like a U. It's got a hole where the stud is, so I can just bolt him straight on. This is how we do it. I've got the vise, I've held this up. I'm just going for a rough estimate on this one. Boom. This is how I did it. I literally just grabbed it, eyeballed it. Boom, we'll start the vent here. So we've gone that way, we need to fold this one back. Put your mark right on the vise. Hold it down low. Bend it over to what we reckon is pretty close, probably 90 degrees. My little secret with this, to find the hole, dab of grease right on the end of the stud, and then we will, boom. So now I've got a grease dot. I can take this over to the drill press, drill this hole, and then I'll continue bending, and then I'll go hold it up on the car, and I'll figure out whether I'm either gonna weld it if I'll be able to get it out, or if I'll just drill and riv nut. So then it's removable. If I ever break one, they stop working, I can get it out without having to cut it off. We've got the hole in it, boom. Test fit it, bang on, just as I planned it to. The next bend line, this is gonna be 90 degrees back, down. You come back on here, bend it back down, 90 degrees. Ideally, you get someone to laser cut you something out that'd encapsulate this with holes drilled, but I don't have that privilege. One here, nice mounting. Boom. So I'm gonna put a nut on that, do it up, hold it up on the car, see if I need to trim these legs or anything. All right, I've got one in and mounted. I think it looks pretty good. The tray's finally starting to come together. Tail lights are in, mounted, the fascia's made. Haven't made the center one. I've potentially got someone laser cutting me one with some stuff in it. So until I find that out, I won't make that. But my metal did arrive, my sheet. So I'm gonna bang it up and we'll start figuring out what we gotta do to make it fit. I've just got mild steel, 2mm mild steel. Figured out over the surface of this, it's only 30 kilos different for Ali, but the price is like over double. So I was like, I'll just get steel, that's all I need. So before I get it up on there, I'm just gonna give these a quick little whiz, and then I'm gonna hit them with etch primer so that I can not have it go rusty between that. So I'm gonna prime it all up with etch, stop it from going rusty. I'm fucking talking in circles here, mate. Fuck me.
I have gotten too tall. I wish I knew you when touch was innocent. I wish I knew you before it felt like a sin.
Now I just gotta trace it, cut it. I might have to put a little section across the middle, a section where they lap so that I can have them butt and not fall down in the middle like they are now. Next up, I've got my SB Tools rib nutter, and I've got a whole bunch of bolts that I had. So I need to go figure out what size I've got to drill for this, drill through both of these, and then I'll be able to bolt it down. So I want it removable because I'm not sure whether I want it permanent. I want to put rubber mat over the top of it, and I also want to make tray sides at some stage. So I've got a nice edge here. I'm going to use this tool. I've got center punch on my marks. So that's all on this side, all drilled. So now I need to go and do it on the other side while I'm still clamped in the same spot. See, I'm just utilising a builder's square. It's got a couple of holes you can just hold the texture in. Follows along the edge, dead straight line. Good tip. Just to make sure there's no wiggle, slop, room, clamp that with them two in so that it can't move. And then I'll need to trace along the edge of this. I'm gonna pull this off now, cut it to shape. I might go put this on the car and then I'll clean the edges up with my fibre sanding disc. Next step, rib nuts. Just like that. I'm gonna do that the whole way around. We're gonna be set. So we've got the first sheet down. Now I'm working on riveting the second. If you're wondering which rib nuts I'm using, zinc coated steel, not alloy. The alloy ones are weaker and they will corrode because they're similar metals. But it is pretty hard to squeeze these in through. Once I paint it, I'll get some rubber. I'm gonna run it along all these edges so there'll be no rattling or vibration. That'll drive me mad when I'm going down corrugations. I don't know if you've seen that bird jump in, but he's been in here all day. He's landed on the camera like twice. I've named him, it's Ronaldo. Another day in the shed. I'm gonna finish, 16 banana peels jumping over the road, mate. It's another day in the shed. I'm gonna start today off by making a little bar that goes across the middle of that X to the sides, so then I can cut a sheet so that I've got a bit of a headboard, backboard, so anything I put in the tray doesn't just fall out or hit the back. I know you're probably thinking, oh, it's gonna fall off the side. Will until I make tray sides. Boom, boom. All right, we've got tray life. So I'm gonna measure center of that to out here. It's 80. I'm just gonna go a meter. So then I can have plenty of overhang to get this angle and do the double notch to get it to slide into here. Now that both sides of this is notched, I'm gonna take it over the tray, see if it fits. Fits pretty good, especially up in the notch. We'll get it to sit parallel with the cab to that, and weld him in, and sheet it off. Now I've got these in. I want to put sheets in between these gaps. I thought about just putting it up and then sheeting straight over it. I think it'll look cooler if I make individual ones that go, you know, in the middle, so half of the tube still hangs out. So what I'm gonna do to do that, I've got craft paper taped together, 3 sections. I'm gonna try and poke it the whole way across. And I forgot my texter, so that's fun. I'm gonna go grab my texter. Texter was up here the whole time. Bloody hell. And a fucking, oh yeah. Should have made that a bit better of a step rather than look cool, eh? They're gonna fit. They're gonna fit. I got these in. I've only just barely tacked them, and then once I make tray sides, it'll look complete. But for now, I've got 4 lights that I'm gonna put up there. I've got the like a chase light, party light. I've got the old Bush Doof G5 pod lights. You know, same as I had on the wagon, but left turn, right turn, reverse, and brake light. So I can wire all those in, and they'll come on for reverse lights, they'll come on for indicators, they'll do all that sort of stuff. So that's good. Break it down by shapes and sizes. I'm a man who's got very specific taste. I put the back brackets on this one backwards. I'll change that later. I'll be able to knock off. All right, so the holes are drilled, they're mounted. There's a couple more things I've got to do, number plate lights, number plate holes, but I haven't got them, so I can't do it yet. Right, now that the tray is pretty much all but finalised, I'm going to pull the sheets off, and we're going to extend my shock towers finally, since everyone's been yelling at me, saying that my brake line's a limiting strap and that my shocks have no up travel, which I've known the whole time, but you know, it's a work in progress. It's not a finish in 2 minutes, buddies. All right, now that I've got the sheet off, next thing I'm gonna do is undo all the tray mount bolts. all the slider joiners, the headboard mounts, and then we're gonna roll the car forward, lift this off with the hoist. Don't know what my plan is currently. The front's off, up and out, but the back isn't yet. Tyler would have just seen, I've been about half an hour trying to figure this out. I didn't think about when I made the headboard attached to the tray, because now I can't get the tray off because there's tray mounts in the way and my fish plates that go to the chassis. So now I need to cut them and get joiners. It's a real stitch up. It's a real stitch up. All right, we've got the tray off after our debacle. So I need to weld all of these. That's one way to move the tray. Now that the debacle's all done and fixed, tray's off, sliders off, bull bar off. Next thing I'm going to do, pull the tank out, pull the shocks out. I'm going to pull the shocks out so that I can raise these towers up. I think I'm going to go 100 mil. Currently with the tray on at ride height, I've got this much travel, which we don't want. So if I go 4 inches, that'll get this tucked right up here, probably near the tray. I've got 13, so if I go up 4 inches, I'll have 9 down. Probably plenty. It's more up than what most people have, but my guards are higher, so I can get away with it, which actually helps keep the car stable. So I probably will sacrifice a little bit of down just to maintain extra stability. Boom. Fuel tank out. Now I'm gonna undo my resis, pull the shocks out. Bloody hidden dirt. What the hell?
I was gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day, gone with the self of the day.
I've got some 50 by 75, same as what I used for the tray. I've gone 120 mil, so I want to be 100 mil taller, and I want to have a notch that's going to be 20 mil deep, so it follows the pipe. Put my safeties on. I want to give this a clean up. Oh, I better lower it because I'm not that tall. I've cut the tower off, as you can see. I've got the bit of box. I've notched out this. It was already a bit of a triangle to get around that pipe, so I've cut him out. I'm going to put this about centre of this. Now I'm going to weld all this in, flip it over, I'll weld it all, cap it all off, and then I'm going to have to sort of take a notch out of here and get it mounted on that tube real nice, and then that'll be 100 mil higher, which will give me my travel back, guys. No one can complain. I'll grab this, it's not notched, but sit at something like this, a little notch like that, a little notch like that. The easiest way to get a notch like that going with what I have is probably going to be flappy wheel. I'm going to dig the edge in, really make it work for me. Hot, hot, hot. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to weld all this up, make this pretty now. It's another day in the shed. Tacked both of these in. Now I want to put the shock on and probably cycle the suspension. I'm going to pull the springs out so that when I articulate it, I don't have any spring resistance because there's no weight up there. But if we just go bump stop to max extension, we'll get an idea of where we are. That's the shocks at full extension. New South Wales limited strap. My brake line is no longer tight. Right, so that's full bump just there. An 80 bump and a little block will be perfect. And that's going to be about where I want the up travel, I think. Just pull these bump stops off. I have the ones out of the wagon, which are 80 series bumps. I'm going to put those in. I think I'm still going to need a couple of extensions, but knowing bump stop bolts, these things always snap. So get some of this, try and get into the chassis, give it a little spray. Get the top of the threads all lubricated, and then we're gonna have to work it back and forward to get these undone. It's getting a bit tight there. Now that I've got it down enough, give it a spray in the threads. Do him all the way back up. Give that shifty bar a chance to get its way into where it needs to. And once you do it all the way back up again, go back to undoing it and just keep undoing it until it sort of feels like it's getting tight, which, you know, it shouldn't be where I'm doing it because it's obviously binding up. And then spray some more stuff. There's one out, as you can see, a lot of dirt and stuff because it gets all in the chassis and then those bolts get it and there's not much you can do about it. So now I've got those in, I'm going to put these down, see how much I've got to add. I think I've got to add to make sure that these actually bump. So that's all the way down on the shock and I'm still not touching with my bump, so I'm going to get a measurement. I'm going to see what that is and we will get that sorted. But before I do that, I'm going to get the engine crane, lift one side up while that side's fully down and see what I can get. So it seems like that's it, which I can measure from the bottom of the tray mount up, and then I can measure from the tray mount up, and if that's pretty much right where my guard is, that's gonna be the right amount of up travel. So I'm gonna get a tape measure that, measure this, and we'll figure it out. It's 22 centimeters, 220 mil, which from here to here, 220 is here, but we've got to think we're going up on an angle like this. So we go up on an angle like this, it's going to be very close. I reckon it's going to be within 10 to 20 mil from that hitting my guard, which is all right because I can just extend my bump stops a smidge. That'll actually be like the perfect amount. So next job up, I've got these bump stop extensions. I've got 2 bits of 50 by 75. They're 80 wide, so 75 is good for the width, and then I needed 100 up by the time you squish the bump stop. So I'm gonna weld these together and then I'm gonna go over to the car, tack them on the car, I'll recycle it, recheck it, should be good. And then I'll be able to fully weld it to the car.
I wish I knew you back when we were both small. I wish I knew you, but I have gotten too tall.
Next thing I need to install is dropout cones. These are from Superior. They're just black and dirty because I got them off my wagon. Already had them, so I thought there's no point buying them again. So let's get these installed. Top bit sits down in here. So you've obviously got to pull your coils out to get these in. But if you have a wagon, you don't actually need to poke it through the top. You can poke it through the bottom as long as you hold it on the right angle. All right, that's in there, that's in there. Springs can go in now. And now that we have the rear done, the rear suspension bump stops, I'm gonna try and put the front bump stops in and remove the front springs so that I can compress it all the way to bump stop. Make sure that my shocks don't bottom out and I'll be able to see how much up travel I have before guard clearance with these 31s on. Pull the springs out. Now we've got the springs out, I can put the bump stop and the extension in. What the hell? Did I get the wrong size bolt? I don't know. That one's on there. Right, so now I've got the bump stops in, shock's done back up. I'm gonna let the hoist down as far as I go until I hit bumps. I'm gonna have to have a look at how much shaft I still have from the front shock, if any. And then I'm also gonna turn the wheel full lock and see if I clear at all times. Right, so they're safe now, they're down. It's full bump, and I'm just nicking this flare currently. You know, these aren't exactly full tread either. As you can see, this wheel's at full droop, off the ground. That one over there, I'll give you a look at, we've got that full bump stop. You can't see it, but I've also got 3 inches of shaft not getting used, and that's gonna be pretty much full bump. Which you wanna make sure when you turn this thing lock to lock, you don't hit on anything. I'm only just rubbing on this inner guard because it's not mounted, but I've had to trim the flare, the guard, and I'll probably end up welding a little lip to the inside so I can mount this because we've done the diff push, it's like 25 mil. I've had to nick this front corner as well and the guard itself, but that's full lock one way, that's full lock another way. Mind you, they may compress a little bit more. Once there's, you know, more weight on the card, the bump stop is rubber, it may compress more. All right, let's give this one a go. You know, give it a bit of a trim back here, and it's also going to be a trim here. It's another day in the shed working on the ute. I have paint in 2 days, so I'm currently, as you've seen yesterday, cutting guards, cutting flares, getting everything ready. So the next job I need to do is pull these flares off and grab these ones, which I've got from Patrol Apart. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff from Patrol Apart. I've got new door, bonnet hinges, new door hinges, new door seals, compressors, brake boosters. Pretty much, we get all our genuine Nissan parts straight from Patrol Apart. They're the biggest supplier in Australia. So first job I want to do today is this here that I've cut. It's now super weak because it's got no inner guard. I've got some, this is Gal, but it's like 1 point something mil sheet. Roughly traced it. Now I'm gonna go cut this out. Hopefully that's the right shape. Looks pretty good for the right shape. I'm just gonna send my boy Gordo a message. I don't know if it's best to weld the stack tacks down the outside, or is it gonna be better to weld it from the inside? I'm not sure. So now it's all tacked up. I've got the fibre sand. So next step on this is to pull this up. I've got the drill a little bit. I'm gonna pull this over. I'm gonna reutilise as many of these factory holes as I can, but I can also just add holes wherever. So for this one, I'm gonna take a tip out of Allen's and use roofing screws. I'm not gonna use these permanently. I'm just gonna put these in so I can hold it up, get the next one in the right position. And then I'm actually gonna go to the paint shop and I'll get the little trim pieces that slide over the metal and then screw through. That's what I'm gonna do. Just like that, inner guard is inner guarding. I'll give you a look. So now that I've got the new flares on, you can see how much I've cut out of that guard. So now I'm gonna have to notch that guard, that flare to suit that as well. Sorry, Patrol Apart. Gotta do what we gotta do. They don't make these 31s like they used to. Next job on the list, I'm gonna pull this whole front end apart. Lights out, intercooler out, air condenser out. So I need to pull all this off so Gordo can paint it all. And then also I've got to pull this bonnet off, switch to my nice new genuine latches. And then my other bonnet, which isn't cut, I need to make a template off this one and then recut it. I don't have the snorkel here, so I'm just gonna have to make it the exact same as it is here and hope for the best. All right, as you can see, I've got a pretty rough template. I've got some craft paper. I've marked the guard here, I've marked the bezel here, and I've marked a couple of reference lines. And then I've put a dirty finger mark along here, and then I've traced that with a texter. So now I'm gonna pull this off. Alright, so now I'm gonna get a paint pen, I'm gonna trace this around, and then I'm gonna get the air hacksaw. I need to brace this, so I need to cut out some metal. The easiest way I've found to do this, because it's like compounding angles, is I've got dirty hands. I'm gonna rub all the edges, cut out this shape. So as you can see, I've got the bottom line. Even this side's even better where it's pressed against. I'm gonna cut all that out and I'm gonna go trace it into metal. I will tack that section in. I'll get some more of this, push down the next bit, I'll keep going. It's pretty hard, this bit, because it's like curved and it's not just like straight and flat, it goes in on an angle. It's compounding angles, so I'm sort of falling behind for my deadline, but all this stuff takes time and I'd rather get it right now. First piece, it's probably the easiest piece. I'll tack weld, I might not even fully weld this because it'll warp very easily. And then I could fill the rest of the holes with panel bond, which dries like rock solid. It's strong as, it's what they put new car roofs on with. The first piece. All right, so we've got this all braced. Still got a nice bonnet line, it didn't pull up. I did it nice and slow. I'm gonna seam seal some of the inside. I need to pull front guards off, radiator out, fan out, and then lift the cab off, engine out. Alright, next up, I'm going to roll engine gearbox and the whole chassis outside. I'm going to give it a hose off because all of this is filthy. The life of a solo YouTuber, walking back to the camera. Next job is to mount this brake line. So I've just got some 6mm clamps and I'm going to reuse factory bolt holes. These are like rubber P-clamps, so they're going to absorb all the vibrations. Next job is to line this back up on this. Another day in the shed. It's the big day where the car goes to the painter. So we're going to load this thing up this morning and that's going to be the last we're going to see of it for a couple of weeks.
I was gone with the self of the day. Gone with the self of
Slow down.
the day.
Stop for a sec.
Gone.
She's all loaded up, ready to hit the road. So I'm pretty excited for this. It looks homeless right now, but you need to trust the process. It's all going to come together very shortly. Next job coming up, clean this bar up and get it all ready for paint. So first step, I've got 120 grit. I've done most of the flat bits, roughed them up with the Orbi. All this stuff, pipe, right? You sort of want to be doing it with a pipe sander first. So this thing has a spring and it sands. I'm going to give it a blow off with the compressed air and then I'm going to wax and grease it. Next step for this is to get it down, get it hung on here where I don't have much contact area so I can just paint it all. I've got my zinc phosphate primer. It says to thin it out with just all-purpose general thinners. So I've thinned it out to 30%, that's what I googled. So I've got 200 mils in here, and I strain it into the gun. Now that's flashed off, I've got the 2K top coat. Beep bop, beep beep beep. Look at that, this bloke always comes in here. What are you doing, mate? You want food or something? No, I don't have anything for you. All right, where you going now? Oh, you just want to be me mate? You got closer. What are you doing, bud? See that, mate? This is why I don't get swooped. See you, bud. Good to catch up. That was Barry. He always comes in here and sees what I'm up to. It's pretty lonely in here without him, so Tyler's no company. Demi's never here, mate. She's always at Pilates, living her best life. I'm just in here, working away, mate. Today, bit bop, another day in the shed, and I'm gonna crack in, and I'm gonna continue on with the prep and paint, fence and wire. I find this is the best way. Stop it from having heaps of slap. Rate my my paint stand. I reckon that's pretty good. So your hands have a lot of natural oils in them and it can affect how the paint sticks. I'm not a professional painter by any means, so I could be wrong as well.
Well, pick me up with golden hand.
Next job coming up, Demi's had enough of the kids' cubby house, so it's time for me to get rid of my green car. I've tried to get wreckers, a couple scrap metal places to come pick it up. The wreckers don't really care, they're too busy, and we need it gone. So I'm about to go get a grinder, start cutting this thing into little tiny bits, and we're going to throw it to the tip.
This is the best this GQ has ever looked.
How ridiculous, mate.
It is.
Still got a spare CV just here. It's gone a bit rusty, mate. GE CV and genuine, mate. I'll take that inside, clean her up. So I'm just taking my car for its last drive. It's going to the tip.
See you later, GQ. We will finish up that episode there. Plenty more ute to build. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
My total invoice is $10,230.
Shit, mate, what's going on here? Big day. New motor.
My life savings is gone. Nah, but yeah, got my fancy motor back, even fancier than last time.
So you're not putting that dirty one in?
Well, I was gonna, but everyone got at me for it. No, yeah, of course I'm not putting the other one in.
Mate, maybe if they listened to something you
I
said.
didn't want to say it again. I thought I sounded passive aggressive last time. This thing's got all the goodies, mate. I've got heavy duty valve springs, rods, billet crank, head studs.
Ready for 400 HP TD.
Beep bop beep. Chicky do, chicky D. 1,000 fucking blossoms bloom and fucking 10 million, 20 million, $30 million. It's about what this fucking thing cost me. Let me tell you that.